There we go. Do it.
Let's talk about Good One. It is directed by India Donaldson. This movie was actually at the Sundance Film Festival, the most recent Sundance. It's about a young woman named Sam, played by Lily Collins, who's going on an outing with her dad. They're going camping in the woods. Her father, Chris, played by James LaGrosse, and his buddy Matt, played by Danny McCarthy, are going to go off on an adventure in the woods. So they're grabbing their camping gear, their tents, and they're going off in the great outdoors. And it's about all the uncomfortable moments spent with her dad and her dad's friend. There's a moment where her father's friend, Matt, kind of overtly says he wishes he could cuddle with her for heat because he forgot his sleeping bag. Of course, Sam is offended by this, but she suppresses her anger. And it's all about the subtle conversations, the subtle indignities, these subtle, just little emotional tete-a-tete between Sam and her father's buddy off on this trip. It's sweet. It's a tribute to the director. This was like a kind of a tribute to her dad. Just shows that like these are not necessarily bad men, but they're men that may not be aware that what they're doing is making, well, this young woman feel very uncomfortable. It's a what I would call a standard movie that you would see at Sundance. Great subtle character moments. It's also not for everyone because it is kind of slow moving. And it's what you would call earnest. And whenever I see in a program guide a description of a movie, it says it's earnest. That's usually one I tend to avoid. But so I can't really recommend this movie. I just say it was fine. In fact, we have the Q&A with the director in our members area there. So I enjoyed it while I saw it, but I recognize this is not like, it's not like a change your life indie movie. But it also, what's weird about this film, the one really positive thing I can say, it made me want to go camping. I was like, I'm not a huge fan of camping. And I thought, well, that could be really fun. The lead, the actress who plays Sam is very good. And James LaGrosse, I've always liked. I didn't recognize him. He's obviously older. His hair is different. And he was very good. So it's I guess it's weird. It's like maybe a mild recommend if you like this kind of film, but I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. So it's borderline like a 5 for me.
Is this a foreign film?
No, U.S.
U.S. film? Okay.
Yeah. And it was at the recent Sundance.
Yeah.
So make of that what you will. It's out in theaters this weekend. So there's some movies we're definitely going to give 100% not recommend. So if you're at the theater, you see what's on the marquee, there are other choices out there. And this is one of those, it hits the marks of what makes a good indie movie, but I recognize this one may not be for everyone. I do like, it had an opportunity to go really hard anti-men, and it doesn't do that. It shows that maybe guys say some things they may not be aware of that could make a young woman uncomfortable, but they weren't intending. There wasn't like malice behind it.
So she doesn't, well, I was gonna say she doesn't wind up killing him, but
well, no,
I don't know.
It's just
I know. The reason I ask if it's a foreign film or not is because I saw a similar film like this at South by Southwest, but it was Spanish, from Spain, and what I remarked, what got me about it was the fact that we view toxic masculinity very differently in the United States than the rest of the world, and so when they did the intro to that movie, it was toxic masculinity. Right. When you watch the movie, you realize no, it's really not about toxic masculinity. I think it's what the person who wrote the synopsis read into the movie, because
That's
I don't
exactly
think the rest of the world sees things the way we see things, especially in the area of toxic masculinity.
But it's not about that. These are
Yeah.
like good dudes, you know. They're just
Mhm.
also like men, especially when they get together where there's only men. They run into another group of guys that are camping in the woods, and they kind of bond with them and goof with them. And guys say stuff that, you know, no intention to hurt.
Mhm.
But they'll say things in the company of men, and you know, she's the sole woman on the trip, and you know, it's like the kind of eye rolling that your daughter does when dad does something stupid,
Yeah.
which happens every day, right,
Yeah.
Alan?
Well, especially when dad goes to Comic-Con and drags her along.
Exactly. All right.